Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today are two, I guess we'll call you, are you brewmasters?
I'm the brewer.
You're the brewer.
I'm the brewer and general manager.
Okay, so we're going to talk to these guys. They were from the Front Royal Brewery, but we have a new name, Vibrissa.
Vibrissa beer.
Yeah.
Vibrissa beer. So why in the world would you change a name that I can't even pronounce? So what's the background behind that?
So we wanted to become a statewide and then move on to a regional brand.
That's one thing wrong when you put the name of your city, and especially it's not New York, you know.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
And in with that, we had just recently signed a lease in Winchester, Virginia.
Yeah.
And whereas we love Front Royal and we're staying here and trying to make this location grow as
This
well.
is the corporate office.
Yes,
Exactly.
correct.
It's a smaller facility
Sure.
for brewing, and we needed the larger facility to facilitate the
Sure,
production.
sure.
And with that, it's tough. The beer industry is kind of fickle with you don't have to be local, but you don't always want to scream that you're not local.
Exactly.
And so going into these different markets, and we don't have any plans right now, but who knows what the future holds. We could have more than just 2 locations.
Sure.
And that just gives us the ability to kind of spread out throughout the state in different areas and regions without trying to be Front Royal Brewing Company in someone else's home market.
Exactly.
We're also working with the city of Winchester, and we just didn't think it made sense to bring Front Royal to Winchester. And I don't think it connected as much where
No.
it does to us who live here and,
Sure,
Right.
sure.
and like spend our time here all the time.
And then we
so.
didn't want to get into where we had multiple locations with different brand names too,
Yeah.
just because that would start becoming confusing.
Sure.
So we wanted
Well, you
under
know,
one
people all like local. You know,
Yes.
And this craft beer, I guess that's what we call
Yep,
this. Right?
craft
Craft beer is really turned into a big movement. I mean,
It has.
I think right now they call Front Royal the canoe capital. I think we're going to be called the craft beer capital of
Oh, we would love it. We would love it. We're trying to do our part, but
We hear there's some other breweries coming too,
Sure,
and hopefully it all.
the market's big enough for
It is. It
kind of like it helps grow the market in a way, because when you just have one, people, I tried that. But when you start having multiple, it kind of grow. Well, I kind of like that, and they move around.
yeah, and just like wineries, beer tourism is a real
Oh,
thing.
yeah, it's a big
and,
business.
I know people that every vacation they go on, they have
yeah.
the breweries planned out
breweries
of where
or the
they're going.
wineries
Yep.
and- yeah.
And in a region like this, why can't we all kind of work together too?
Sure,
where you can go to a winery half the day, go to a brewery the other half of the day, and
So tell me a little bit about this name. Does it mean something?
it does.
Okay.
So the definition is it's from it's a Latin word that mean propel or to move forward.
Okay.
It also is a tactile whisker on a mammal. So it speaks to sensory
Okay.
more than anything else to us. And one easily sensory with beer. You got flavors and aromas
Sure,
and stuff. But more so than that, I guess a little deeper meaning that we connect with is environmental sensory. So the tap room experience, the people, what drinking beer and socializing. So it's just a loose connection with that, as well as a word that sparks conversation, like we just did.
He's digging deep for
Yeah.
that, isn't he?
Oh yeah. But we didn't. We aren't a whisker themed beer place,
right,
and
right.
that's not the route we're going with that. It's fun to look up because it's something different.
Did you come up with other names, or?
We
Yeah,
had
oh,
a
yeah,
whole round table of
I
everything,
bet this was
and
coming up with a new name is
It's tough.
Is tough.
It's
And-
when you hear something good and then you say to yourself, "How does that going to sound 10 years from now?" Right?
yeah.
And so we knew with any name change, there would be a little confusion or why we're doing it and stuff. And we're certainly not running or trying to distance ourselves from
It's
our
a unique
locale.
name, and that's really what you want.
Exactly.
You want something that's unique.
And soon, like Vibrissa has a loose meaning, but soon we want it to be a regional brand, and people think of Vibrissa and they think beer. They
Sure.
don't think anything else.
No, that's
so we
exactly
want,
right, right.
We want
You
people
don't
to
We
think
want the
Vibrissa
one
beer.
word and the brand association with that one word.
that'll do it.
And not a lot of other people are using this word.
Well, it's important. It's important.
Yes.
So when you do this multiple locations, so you're looking to distribute your product, that's a whole nother animal, isn't it?
It
I mean,
is.
Yeah.
it's one thing when you can brew it right there and just tap it. But I got to bottle it and can it. And,
Oh, in a perfect world, that's the way to do it because it's a lot less headaches when you can just sell it inside your four walls.
exactly.
And starting at the beginning of 2021, we started doing distribution out of the Front Royal location. You just don't have that much beer, so we try to hit more of the boutique markets and the dedicated craft beer places from here to DC, a little bit in Winchester, but that's our only little spot right now because we just don't have enough beer. But you know, as we grow into the new location, we're going to have so much more potential to keep growing to supply the entire state and nearby states as well.
Yeah. That's kind of like when we'll use like Coors. I remember my dad. He called it vitamin C. You know, so
Yeah.
but they had a distribution problem years ago. I mean, of course, their method they had to chill it or whatever I can remember, and then how are we going to get it in the trucks and get it from Colorado to. You know, so they had a very small region.
It's
but,
almost a whole nother business to
it
take
is.
on
It is.
that,
It
that
is.
point. So.
Now it's it's all over the place.
It is a lot of competition.
Yeah,
So
but it seems like the market keeps growing. I guess we have.
Yeah,
I mean, beer goes back a long way. I mean, I'm not a beer drinker, but I always thought a beer looked so refreshing on a hot summer day until I got so close to it I didn't like the taste. But it always looks refreshing, and you see people to do it.
And we still get people in the tap room today that are trying craft beer for the first time, that's never had it, and it's awesome to see them kind of change over and start enjoying craft beer and learning about it and the whole culture behind it. So it's really cool to see that changeover from the macro drinkers to a craft beer society. So
are you going to have the restaurant theme as well in your new location? Or
We will.
Is it going to be just
no,
a brewery?
We are going to have a food concept and a brewery tap room. A little bit different setup. This is more of a traditional here in town, a brew pub restaurant, kid friendly. Come in, servers get sat at a table. Up there, we're going to have an open tap room, a full size kitchen with a full menu. But it'll be more QR codes and ordering through the bar, and we'll just have a food runner bring it to you. So a little less middleman. Some of the bartenders will come out to get your drinks and stuff. So I don't want to say there's no service there, but not the traditional model that you would see at most restaurants. So we keep that much like you can do in a winery on a Saturday afternoon, that kind of non-committal where you can kind of come in, sit down, have a beer, leave, go to that side of the room, sit down over there.
Eat,
you don't,
not eat. Yeah.
Eat, not eat. You don't feel like you're taking up a server's time and like, okay, if I'm not going to get something, I got to get out. You want someone else in the table here.
They're going to charge me rent.
Exactly. So we just wanted more of having that hangout area, social gathering area, but still provided food as well. So
you said it traditional. That's going to be the new traditional way. We're getting. I mean, when McDonald's does it, that's everyone.
You're 100% right.
Yeah.
And we in the future do have some plans of trying to set up some more kiosks with pictures of the food. So an elevated experience you would find at some of these fast casuals.
I've been into Chili's. I was at the airport, and you had to order on the iPad,
right.
And then they brought it to you, and that was it. That's the way it's moving. We're talking about shortages right now. We got, manpower shortages, supply chain problems, and I guess that's going to affect the beer.
Our industry has been hit really hard this year during the pandemic with the workforce, the restaurant, the service industry in the United States.
Where did all these people go? Who would ever think that McDonald's couldn't have enough kids to work in?
I know.
Did you ever think that would happen?
I know. And giving out cash bonuses to get jobs there.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different world right now. And we've felt the struggle over the year of trying to stay staffed and be able to serve our guests fully and stuff like that. And it's been a trying year for sure. And it really hasn't ended. It's gotten better than 6 months ago, but we're still, and the other restaurant owners and service industry people we know are still struggling to try to find that piece to, I guess, feel normal again, like we did a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now.
And it's not, and like you said, it's not only the people; it's the supply chain too. The food costs are ridiculous now. The getting paper products, getting just things to operate every single day is just hard to do. So it's hitting everyone, and
the styrofoam has gone away.
Exactly. Yes.
How in the world are we going to do takeaway?
I know, exactly.
Like takeaway, it's not to go anymore. It's takeaway, right?
I spent a week and a half trying to find wrapped straws. Like I couldn't find regular straws. I could only get the crazy ones for kids. And so I was like, I can't do that. And so yeah, it's and to speak to that, opening a new place with the current state of affairs all of that is, it's in the back of our mind, but
you can get through this, you're going to be able to grow.
Exactly. But as far as where we're at, it is just the right time to do it.
Sure.
And the location that we found in Winchester, which is the old Winchester Star building, right across from the courthouse.
Right.
It is
got good vibes.
Yes, and it's just the perfect location for what we are doing.
Yeah.
When we walked in, the walls, everything were there.
It spoke to you, didn't
yes.
it? Yeah. You know that when it's right, it's right.
Right.
Well, you have made a big change to Main Street Front Royal. And I'm sure that you will make a big change to downtown Winchester as well.
Appreciate
and
that.
that's really that's kind of your model. And so when you go to these, there's a lot of good communities in the state that would probably fit right in with that model. Finding that
definitely
that downtown look, so to speak.
We really want to kind of be in this area though, and kind of draw people to this area still.
Sure.
Being this destination brewery, we really want to be known all over the East Coast and kind of draw people to the Shenandoah Valley, draw people to Winchester, and kind of connect everyone together in this area, because it's beautiful and it's great to be out here. And if you can have the beer socializing with it, that's kind of just what we want to do.
The Valley brings millions and millions of people that will buy your beer regionally and buy at the store.
And that's what we look for, since the tourism is just so prevalent here.
That's your marketing.
Yes. We sell beer in some of the places where they came from that morning before they went on Skyline Drive or did a hike or went canoeing.
Exactly. Remember that name.
Exactly. And if anything, you will remember the name.
And that's what you want.
Yes, and we want people to realize that just what a treasure this is out here. Sure. I mean, the views. This is a different landscape from Winchester down to you drive down 522. It's a whole other world down here. Yeah. The weather can be very different, and we're that close.
Well, when you go to Winchester, I hate to say it, even though they're south of the Mason-Dixon line, they're northerners. And when you come down here, we're southerners. So you got the best of both.
You got it. Yeah. You got it.
It's funny how. And I tell people that. I said, Front Royal, if you look at from a governmental side, we're tied to Richmond. Mm-hmm. Winchester is tied to Northern Virginia. Now, why would that? You would think that's strange, but I remember when the grocery stores, their district office for Front Royal was Richmond. And the same store in Winchester, their district office was in Northern Virginia. And I thought, we're only 20 miles apart.
I know, yeah.
How does that work? And it's just strange. The post office was that way. It's just different. And it is. The attitude is different.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it's a different place than down here. I live up there and I work down here. And I love both places. And I'm not originally from either area, but I just
you've adapted.
Yeah, totally. But I like each of them for what they give to you, because it's two different experiences for sure.
Yeah, it's great. Well, we do appreciate it. And it's great that you're bringing new business and new blood to communities.
We want to keep growing. I mean, we're still continuing and will always continue to focus on Front Royal, because we think that Front Royal and Main Street can get even better. And it is, more good businesses coming in. There's some great businesses here now, and we just want to just make this area like even more focused for people to come out and see.
Just being here for as long as we have as Front Royal Brewing, we've seen the community, the whole town just explode with great businesses. We've made great friends on Main Street as well. It's just awesome to see, and seeing Front Royal grow. And I don't think it's going to stop.
Well, I can remember when you bought that building and you moved in there, and it took a lot longer than what we thought it would. Right?
That's how
and the concrete and the pipe. I said, where are you going to have room to do anything? And it's amazing when you're all done. I mean, you had a plan.
Yeah.
And you worked it. It's great. Let me ask a trade secret here.
Sure.
How much beer do you really make? I mean, you're going to tell us, or are you just going to?
Oh yeah.
I mean, just curious. Like in a brewery like Front Royal.
In a brewery like Front Royal right now.
Their tanks are gigantic, but
So this year we're going to produce 1,400 or 1,500 kegs of beer. total.
Yeah.
So that's about 700 barrels, 600 barrels of beer. A barrel of beer is 2 kegs.
Right.
It's 31 gallons in a U.S. Beer barrel.
Right.
But that is a figurative.
Is it
kind of,
aged or is it ready to drink when it comes out of?
So most of the beers that we brew are about 3 weeks from the day we brew them to the day we're drinking them.
Okay, I was going to say how long it takes.
Yeah.
It's not something you can mix it all together. And
No. Yeah, it takes a while. You have to
grow.
Yeah, the brew day is when you're actually making the wort or the sugar solution from the mash and boiling it and adding hops, and then you have the fermentation, which is 7 to 10 days, and then about a week of maturation, and then most beers after that are ready to drink, carbonated,
it's
ready to go.
It's a chemical process.
Yeah.
You watch it and all the tools and technology now.
Most of what I do is cleaning and sanitizing and preparing an area for microorganisms to do their job inside of a tank, and I sit back and but it's a lot of it's all science, all science.
Isn't that weird? I mean, I'm sure back in the early hundreds of years ago,
they weren't thinking of it like that.
No, and they probably accidentally all of a sudden they got beer.
That's how beer started in Mesopotamia, where somebody let some grain get wet and they tried to dry it out, and that was and they did use part of a heat source to do that, and that was the first. Maybe not understanding, but the first time somebody had started to malt something. So that prepared the grains to be able to get their sugars and flavor and color out of it.
Yeah. One thing about it, if you got bad water, you can still drink beer.
Yeah.
Well, Mike and Jeff, it's great to talk to you.
Definitely.
Anything else you want to bring up before we shut this thing down?
Come see us in Front Royal on Main Street. We have a great restaurant, great food, beer, and experience, and then look for us. We're hoping to be brewing beer in about February up in Winchester. I was
going to ask when we think we're going to open.
And then a month or two after that, our tap room and kitchen open. So by mid-spring, early summer, we should be rocking and rolling up there and have both locations going. And we are going to bring some beers between the two locations as well.
I have a different brew there.
Yep, and then bring it down here, and some up there, and then there will be the same as well going on. So, but you will be able to have a slightly different experience at each of them, but know that it's under our brand.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you're going to have the same people involved in this? We got new investors or new...
Same people.
Yep.
Same family.
It's going to be the same
people.
owners, same brewery, Front Royal, and we have the same management team. So
that's good. That'll be a little because that's the one thing when you start. I've had multiple locations, and the consistency is hard to.
It's tough. It's tough.
I keep talking about McDonald's, but I remember reading a report, and they spend most of their day is to keep all their franchises on the menu and making it all the same way. Whether you like it or not, it's consistent. It's consistently bad in St. Louis and California, or whether you like it or not.
But
it's
there is something to be said about being consistent, whether you're right or wrong. But you're right, it is, and that is not an easy thing.
The hardest thing that they do is to keep the consistency. So when you have a brand that's national or regional, when you want to have that experience in Williamsburg or Winchester, you want that experience to be the same.
You can't keep your finger on it like you can when it's just one location.
And that's hard to do, but I know you guys can do it.
That's what we're going to
do.
We are
determined. And you're young.
Yes.
You still got hair. I mean,
I don't.
Yeah, he does.
I know I didn't want to say that. But we can tell who the hard worker is. Again, guys, I really appreciate it, Jeff, Mike. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Having us.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
Good luck on your new venture.
Great.
Thank you.